Hi, I'm Rick Woodford, Superintendent of Uintah School District. I'm honored to lead and serve such a remarkable group of students, staff, board, and community members. Uintah School District has a rich tradition of excellence in academics, fine and performing arts, our athletic programs, and student organizations such as FFA, DECA, the Science Olympiad, and the National Honor Society. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, we want school to continue to be an engaging experience for our students where they can excel in their academic, social, and extracurricular interests. In Uintah School District, we help students become well-rounded, productive members of society, and we care about each student's social, emotional, physical, and academic growth. In April, we established a COVID-19 task force comprised of 8 staff members. Their charge was to use all available information to assess the impact of COVID-19 on our district, and then to draft a comprehensive action plan for the reopening of our schools. In July, the Utah State Board of Education authorized a requirement for each school district to submit a reopening plan, including 49 assurances. The Uintah School District COVID-19 Task Force was driven by the idea that we need to be able to mobilize with excellence in a moment. After much community input and 2 public meetings, the Uintah School District Board approved an action plan. Each school has been provided with a copy of the district's plan. Principals are in the process of working with their staff members and community councils to develop school-based action plans that will fit nicely into the district's framework. My objectives with this video are, first, to share the main details of the district's plan with you. Second, to discuss what education in USD will look like for your students. And finally, to discuss how your family might be impacted by these changes. So let's jump into the plan detail. Uintah School District is providing 3 options for school enrollment. First, we have a traditional neighborhood school option where students can attend the school that they would normally attend. Next, they can attend Uintah Online. Uintah Online is a full functioning online school that is governed by Uintah School District. Also, students can attend a combination of those 2 if they're in grades 6 through 12. So I want to start by sharing some information about Uintah Online. And probably the first thing that stands out about Uintah Online is they have an amazing principal in Andy McKay. She truly loves students and holds the best interests of students at heart. She's quite a leader. Uintah Online provides both educational services for elementary and secondary students. Our elementary program over the years has transformed from a program that really has provided students with packets of information to what we're going to be providing this coming year, which will be a full online experience using new curriculum. And it will match, I guess, more closely what has happened at the secondary level. So why choose Uintah Online in a time when there are so many options for online learning? First, it's free. Second, we provide the best online curriculum available. Third, support services for academic, social, and emotional growth are provided for students. And finally, we're in this together, and the local staff at UON care about your student. The UON staff exemplify the values of our community, and of course, they are Vernal strong. Let's talk now about our traditional school option for families. As COVID-19 runs its course, we want to do our part to slow the spread while providing our students with an engaging school experience.
I'm Jayme Leyba. I'm the Curriculum Director for Uintah School District, and I want to share with you how we plan to mitigate risk in Uintah School District for COVID. The first step is movement. With movement, anytime that we can be more direct with movement, we lower the risk. So movement's number 1. The second one is duration. Anytime we can limit exposure to others less than 15 minutes, we lower the risk. So anything more than 15 minutes is a higher risk. Third, proximity. It seems to be, some of the research out is about 6 feet is the distance that they're recommending. Anytime that you are more than 6 feet away from the next person, you have a lower the risk. If you're closer than 6 feet, it's higher the risk. Number 4, group size, which talks about the recommended limit for a certain space. If you exceed those limits, higher the risk. If we don't exceed those limits, lower the risk. Number 5, respiratory output. How much are we breathing, right? In a normal classroom setting, it's regular, it's a low risk. But if you can imagine a recess, students playing, or in a choir class where they're singing, or in a PE classroom, there's a higher risk because of respiratory output. Okay, so we want to be able to lower the risk. Number 6 is touch. Anytime there's a high touch area, it's higher the risk. So if you could think about in a school where the high touch areas might be, like in a doorway, a hallway, doorknobs, we just need to be adamant that we're cleaning those areas more regularly because the higher the touch areas, the higher the risk. Lastly is congestion. In any school, if you can imagine walking in the hallways or in the entryway of a door, there's congestion points. We have to be able to find ways to mitigate risk in reducing the congestion points in a school. Those 7 steps outline the risk mitigation protocol. Thank you.
After we assess risk, the idea is that we have to mitigate risk the best that we can. And one of the key factors we found is simply the concentration of students in the building or the density. And this is why we've developed a plan where we can have schools operating at 100% capacity, full capacity, and we can also take that down to 50% or 25% if necessary. And by doing that, we would then be able to space students out better. And really, in all of the factors we discussed, it's easier to mitigate risk when there's fewer students in a building. So we hope to be able to start at 100%. That is the plan at this point in time. But we certainly can adapt and adjust if we need to. And this plan allows us to do that. Another part of this plan we had to consider is how do we accommodate students and staff who are sick or quarantined. We will do this by offering a blended learning model. A blended learning model provides face-to-face instruction for our students while also providing a virtual or home-based learning program for those that are in need. Some might ask, well, why are we only going to school Monday through Thursday? What about Fridays? Why can't students attend school on Friday? Well, Friday is going to be an essential time for our teachers to prepare, to be able to meet the demands of a blended learning model, keeping in mind that they have to provide face-to-face instruction while also accommodating those students that may be home. So teachers need the time to be able to stay ahead of their workload. Home-based learning on Fridays will also replace the traditional late start and early release days that the district used to provide. As we talk more about blended learning, we have a couple of changes that are happening to help facilitate this process. One, we will have all teachers across the district using a common learning management system. This system will be the Canvas system. Many of you are aware and have used that in the past. Now, if you have students in multiple schools, there will be one system that teachers will use district-wide. This should help facilitate at least a smoother system for you at home. Also, we are going to expand our one-to-one implementation with Chromebooks. Every student will be assigned a Chromebook, and they will be able to take those Chromebooks home to be able to facilitate instruction on Fridays. Each school will handle that a little bit differently, but for the most part, each student will be assigned a Chromebook. Let's take a minute and talk about masks. This is a controversial topic that many of you are concerned about. I know there's a lot of questions about whether or not kids will wear masks, whether younger kids can wear masks. This is an executive order that's been provided by our governor. So right now, the way it stands, everyone in school, including staff and students, will be required to wear a mask.
In the first few months of the pandemic, we received a lot of conflicting guidance from several official sources. And just like most every other aspect of COVID-19, we've learned more as we've moved through this pandemic. Cloth masks can stop 90% or more of the droplets carrying the virus. And there is some evidence that cloth masks also protect the wearer from infection. That's what the research shows now. Since we were little, we were taught to cover our mouth when we cough or sneeze. Why? So we don't give our germs to other people and make them sick. A face mask does the same thing, but better, because we aren't getting the germs on our hands or on our sleeves. Masking alone will not be enough to stop the pandemic. Masking is the most effective when combined with physical distancing and frequent hand washing. So we have to do it all. The current order from the governor says each individual, including an employee, student, or visitor on school property or on a school bus, shall wear a face covering, except as provided in Section 3. And that section provides some exceptions. For example, when you're outdoors and maintaining a 6-foot distance from others, you don't have to wear a mask. Or when you're eating or drinking while indoors and maintaining a physical distance of at least 6 feet. Or for a child who is younger than 3 years old. Or for individuals with a specific medical condition. In our district, in Uintah School District, the exemption for medical conditions will be determined with the help of your child's healthcare provider or your special education IEP team. You can find the full governor's order at corona.utah.gov. So beyond the governor's mandate, why should we wear face coverings in school? Because we want to protect each other and slow the spread of this virus so we can stay in school and so our economy can stay open. We want kids in school and parents at work. We want to protect our teachers and other school staff or students with compromised immune systems, so we need to wear face coverings to protect others. If the teachers or custodians, secretaries or bus drivers, school food workers or coaches become ill and we can't come to school, then we may not be able to keep our schools open. We must protect each other by wearing a face covering, washing our hands properly, and practicing physical distancing. Some different options you may have for face coverings include a disposable mask, like this one, and you can reuse it. You can have a homemade mask, like this one. There are lots of fun options, like this with your school logo. And as long as it's covering your nose and your chin, it's acceptable for school. The state is providing face coverings for all students that look like this, and they have adjustable air loops. So those are some options that you can use in school. So parents, please make this a positive experience for us and help us at home. There are no bandanas permitted at school. Face coverings must be school appropriate, so they cannot cause a distraction or be offensive. They can be store-bought or handmade. Get creative and have fun with it. There are so many options out there. I have permission to share a picture with you all, and it came with a message from a student's grandma who told me about a sewing class the older girls were taking. They've learned how to make face masks for school. She said they are so excited about it. Going back to school with masks will be whatever the parents make it. It's going to be great, the grandma wrote. We can't wait to see you all back in school. We want kids back in the classrooms, and we want to keep you there for as long as we can. So let's do it safely, responsibly, and with consideration for the well-being of others. We hope to see you in school on August 25th.
Let's take a minute and talk about transportation. I know that it's going to be challenging to provide transportation, especially if we're in a situation where we're at partial capacity. But we have a plan, and we know that we can do this. And so regardless of whether we're at 100%, 50%, or 25% capacity, we will be able to transport kids safely to school. Masks are required, and again, this is part of the governor's order. Masks are required by all students on buses. So we will have to make sure that we're following through with that.
Hi, my name is Mark Rich, and I am the Transportation Coordinator for the Uintah School District. We are excited to bring students back into schools. With startup of schools, there have been many questions regarding busing. In this video, I hope to provide you with the information you need to begin the school year. These rules are state requirements and promote a safe environment for our students and staff. It is required that all Uintah School District students wear a face covering while riding a school bus. Students who refuse to wear a face covering will not be allowed to ride a district school bus. Students are expected to have their own face covering. If a student is at the bus stop and has forgotten their face covering, one will be provided on the way to school, but the parent will be notified and asked to provide a face covering. All students will have an assigned bus seat and be required to stay in this bus seat when they ride the bus. Whenever possible, school buses will be loaded back to front and unloaded front to back to minimize student passing. Also, whenever possible, students from the same household will sit together while riding the school bus. There will be no transfer buses for secondary students. Students will be required to follow all Uintah School District busing rules. A list of Uintah School District bus rules can be found on our district website. Hand sanitizer will be available to students on each school bus. School buses will be cleaned and disinfected between bus routes, especially high-touch surfaces. Our main concern is for the safety and health of our students and our staff. If anyone has questions about these requirements, please contact the Uintah School District's Transportation Office at 435-781-3180. Thank you.
School lunch. School lunch will be provided. We are in the process right now of analyzing data from the survey that went out recently, and we plan to serve school lunch. I know there's speculation. Is school lunch going to be served in the cafeteria or will it be served in the classrooms? That's going to really depend on the school and their unique circumstances. So schools will provide plans, and as soon as we get that information, we'll get that out to the public. Also, we're looking at data to determine whether we should provide school lunch on Fridays or on days when kids are not in school. Let's discuss participation in sports and extracurricular activities. I know this is a huge concern for many. I think it was heartbreaking last spring when our seniors particularly weren't able to participate in their, not just their sporting programs, but really anything that's important to them with extracurricular activities. And so we certainly hope that we're able to keep our sports teams and our extracurricular clubs and groups engaged. So that's the plan right now. We will continue to assess and make sure that we're checking to see if kids are healthy, and if they are, then they're going to be able to practice and participate with their teams. Likewise, we'll take other precautions to mitigate risk through our protocol that we explained earlier. So what if there's an outbreak in one of our schools? How are we going to handle that? In consultation with Tri-County Health, we will implement the risk assessment protocol, and if necessary, we will temporarily reduce the capacity of the impacted school. So we may have one or two schools operating at reduced capacity while our other schools are able to function at full capacity. It really depends on the nature of the outbreak and how we were able to mitigate risk in those particular buildings. So in conclusion, we have a comprehensive plan in place for mitigating risk and to ensure that kids are as safe as they can be in our schools. We have additional information available on our website at uintah.net. You will find there the comprehensive plan with the 49 assurances. You'll find the USD learning plan and also a frequently asked questions document that hopefully is helpful to you. School begins on August 25th. We are looking forward to having our students back in school. Through thick and thin, we are here to serve you. We are Team Uintah, and we are Vernal Strong.